That doesn't make this a fair process.
Take it out of the wall.
Just a quick question or two.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, by the way. My name's Todd Price. I was one of the folks on the voucher research years ago. And I just wanted to say a few things because I know a lot of folks in this room are concerned about that. It's a failed experiment. It was a failure from the beginning. The schools they used were very shoddy. People were underpaid. It's had a clearly segregative effect. And basically, it's just been a gateway drug for privatization of public education. And I talked with about 10 or 12 people. I came and spoke on a few occasions 2 years ago. And it's really a real sad day that this is being used to defund the public schools because it's just ideologically driven. I know this isn't news for anyone, but there's actually research out there that has demonstrably demonstrated the failure of this program going forward. And I just, whatever you can do to help leverage whatever you have to impress
One of the
upon
things we're
this.
trying to do with that program is to, first of all, make it more accountable and have standards in place that are exactly the same for public schools. We've talked about testing, but even for something as basic as reporting child abuse, those standards are not the same. We had a long meeting with the Milwaukee Attorney's Office and the Police Department 6 months ago, talking about those two standards. And even for something as basic as that, we should have the same standards. They should be identical across the board. And I look at the amount of money that we spend in city of Milwaukee property taxpayers on that program. It is enormous. And we're trying to figure out how to close that gap. And one of the good things that's going to come out today is that we're finally going to have a game plan to correct that funding flaw. It takes way too long. It takes 12 years for it to become fully effective. At least we'll
If I could just follow, and thanks so much for coming down here. It's great to have your feedback. Mike Ellis a while ago talked about a vote. That every time this program has come up for popular referendum, it's lost in California and Michigan and everywhere. It's a local control issue in my city of Kenosha. Basically, not even the Republicans on the school board want it because they know it's just going to devastate our school district. So can somebody, talk some sense to people that are doing this policy work that there are local concerns here that certainly Republicans are interested in to some degree of local concerns in their own school districts. It's not popular. So how does this get through when the people themselves don't even support it? What's going on here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there's an army of lobbyists that are employed by, it's really an industry in the school choice movement. You have two former speakers of the state assembly who are very influential lobbyists who have been here every day this week, talking about this. And so people need to understand that this is a big political effort. When we're talking about spending statewide, people shouldn't take any comfort at all in their 1% cap. That is going to be gone. And I tell you, they're going to raise millions, tens of millions of dollars. When every community is taking that cap. For all of us from Milwaukee, remember what it was like 4 years ago when they got to go lift the cap and what a campaign that was? That is, billboards, bus sides, TV, the whole nine. And that's going to go in every community in the state. And so they, the campaign operatives for the choice communities rubbing their hands. Because they know what's coming down the tracks for the next decade. That's what it's all going to be about, this passes. And that's why I was so disappointed that someone like Luther Olson, who's always been pretty good about standing up for public education, roll over on this. And they just naively think, well, this cap's going to stay in place and nothing's going to happen. That's anybody, all of us from Milwaukee, we've seen what happens. Yeah. So you had a question, guys, right?
Yeah, when you said that unless certain Republicans cave on what? What are you worried about them? On the
Well,
one
no,
that
they're going to cave to the right wing Republican Party about the school funding thing. One of the things that some people were talking about, I think that we should fund schools at $275 per pupil. There are some who were saying it should be at $200, and if enough, there were Republican state senators saying that, and if there was enough of those senators holding to that $200 per pupil position, they could, get closer to 200 than 150. My concern is that they are at this stage completely caving, and they're giving up even that 200 figure. And what's worse is that it's going to be 150 but only funded 2/3 by the state, which means that the other third needs to come from local property taxes. So it's that's not good. Not good for City of Milwaukee for sure, but any community in the state. So,
And is there any discussion about the fact that statewide vouchers really has had no public hearing?
they don't care about that. No, I mean, they don't. There have been so many things that we've done that have been massive changes in policy that we get with 20 minutes notice on one of these motions. So that's just the way it rolls. Yeah.
Who's running for governor in 2014?
Good question. But I want one of those stickers though. Can I have one of those stickers?
Someone sold it to
Take
you
them
because they're
all.
free.
I just want one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I got shirts in my mini.
I'll
You're probably not getting so small though.
Oh man.
They're my mini bag.
Well, I'm gonna put this on my folder for today to commemorate the day. How long are you guys staying here today?
As long as I can stand it.
It's an extra small.
Might be a while. Well, it depends on what happens. We'll know when we come back at 5, if we come back
They're
at 5,
mini bag.
how things are gonna be.
Can you give us like a signal?
Well, I'll just ask them directly, you know, so,
That would work.
yeah, so.
So what's helpful to you? Should we try to move into the actual room at some point?
Sure, it's
They
helpful
bring
that
you
you.
coffee.
Yeah, you know, but also one of the things during the Medicaid session, a couple people kind of lost their cool during that. That is not helpful. We're trying to talk to the middle of Wisconsin. That's not helpful. It's incredibly distracting from the arguments we're trying to make, and people then they become the story instead of the landscape that we're trying to help.
So you won't resist the temptation.
Resist the time, as angry as you are, we all are. Yes. Okay, well I'm gonna go down to my office real quick, guys. But
Thank you.
have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping in.
Oh yeah, you bet. Thanks for being here today. It's the difference that you're here. It really does. Thank you. Okay.
I